We live in an age where noise is mistaken for strength, where the loudest voice in the room is assumed to be the most powerful, and where emotional chaos is confused with control. But history, psychology, and Stoic philosophy expose a far more dangerous truth. The most powerful people never raise their voices, never rush to react, and never allow their emotions to be hijacked. Real power is quiet. It is calm. It is invisible. When you study the Stoics, especially Epictetus, you realize that the one thing no manipulator can ever dominate is a person who controls their inner world. Because as he taught, it is not events that disturb us, but the meaning we assign to them. Manipulation only works when someone concedes your prohairesis, your ability to choose how you perceive, feel, and respond, and drag you into an emotional battlefield you were never meant to win. The unshakable understand this, which is why they master silence, not as weakness, but as strategy. They do not overshare because every unnecessary word reveals emotional data. They observe instead, listening not just to what is said, but to tone, tension, and intent, decoding motives without exposing themselves. They understand that explaining themselves excessively is a subtle form of self-betrayal, because once someone has chosen to misunderstand you, no explanation will ever be enough. And defending your peace places your self-worth in the hands of those who never deserved it. Their actions speak louder than any justification, and their calm becomes a final answer. Most importantly, they remain composed when provoked, because they know that anger, guilt, and defensiveness are the fuel manipulators depend on, and when that fuel is denied, the entire game collapses. The moment you stop reacting, stop explaining, and stop trying to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you, you become untouchable, calm, centered, and impossible to control. Your calm is not weakness. It is a hardened steel of your character, an inner shield that no emotional attack can penetrate. Because Stoicism teaches a ruthless truth. You cannot control what others do, but you control every single response you give them, and that control is absolute power. Manipulators rely on predictable loop, accusation, emotional reaction, concession, but the moment you respond with silence or unshakable calm, the loop collapses, their script shatters, and a cognitive gap opens where the control once lived. This is why the disciplined practice of premeditatio malorum is so dangerous to them. When you rehearse the worst they could say before it ever happens, emotion never gets a chance to ambush reason, and you enter the situation already victorious. The emotionally strong also understand something most people never grasp. They do not chase people, attention, or validation, because self-respect operates on a different law entirely. The right people stay, the wrong people leave, and both outcomes are accepted without resistance. Marcus Aurelius warned that the soul must be protected from contamination, and when you truly internalize memento mori, that your time is finite, you stop wasting on those who drain your spirit, disrespect your boundaries, or undermine your peace. Chasing is scarcity. Choosing is abundance. And those who move with quiet self-possession naturally attract others who operate at the same frequency. This is why they evaluate relationships coldly and clearly, measuring which ones build strength and clarity versus those that extract energy through drama, guilt, and manipulation. They also never fall for apologies alone, because words are cheap and patterns are expensive. True repentance shows up as sustained change, full responsibility, and consistency over time, while manipulation hides behind excuses, shared blame, and repeated offenses dressed up as mistakes. When a behavior repeats for the third time, the Stoic stops calling it an accident and starts calling it choice, because character always reveals itself through repetition. Above all else, they guard their energy like a rare and volatile currency, knowing that peace is not free. It is the most valuable asset they own. Every unnecessary argument, every emotional explanation, every boundary fight is a hidden tax on cognitive clarity and inner stability, and the unmanipulable refuse to spend that currency on people or situations that offer no return. When your inner capital is drained, you become unstable, reactive, and dangerously easy to control, which is why the guiltless no is one of the most powerful weapons a disciplined mind can wield. Saying no is not rejection. It is self-preservation. And the strong understand that the moment you apologize, over-explain, or defend your no, you weaken the boundary you just set. Energy protection begins with ruthless clarity. Identify the people and situations that leave you feeling mentally dimmed, then calculate the real cost, how long it takes you to recover your calm after each interaction. Once you see the numbers, your standards change. The unmanipulable respond with short, final statements. I'm not participating in this. That's not how I choose to spend my time. My answer is no. And then they stop talking because silence is the enforcement mechanism. They withdraw the instant a conversation turns heavy, knowing they need no permission to protect their most valuable asset. Stoicism is not avoidance. It is selective engagement, the discipline of refusing to spend cognitive energy where it produces no virtue. Manipulation only survives when it's fuel, and silence removes the fuel completely. Distance, not confrontation, collapses false narratives faster than any argument ever could. Because confrontation plays into a script the manipulator has already rehearsed, while distance forces them to face the echo of their own behavior. This silence is not weakness or avoidance. It is a calculated pause, a strategic withdrawal that speaks louder than any explanation ever could. You never need to announce that you've changed. People feel it the moment you stop reacting, stop chasing, and stop offering yourself as an emotional supply. Instead of sending long messages loaded with emotion, send nothing, or send one factual line and put the phone down. Let the silence do the work. Because real power is not found in how intensely you respond, but in what you decisively refuse to engage with. These 7 habits converge into one unbreakable Stoic truth. Mastery of the self is the highest form of freedom. You do not need permission to become unmanipulatable. Only the courage to guard your proherasis, your power of choice, with ruthless consistency. When you do, you are no longer setting boundaries. You are building an inner fortress, becoming someone who cannot be controlled because you have mastered the one thing manipulators fear most, a mind that answers only to itself.